Watch a college student get a little bit frisky and excitable during a debate with Charlie Kirk, only to get shut the heck down. Folks, I think you're going to like it, all right? This guy is all over the place, talking at a million miles a minute sometimes, but Charlie knows how to rein it in. So we're going to get right into it. It's going to be fun, but first, do me a huge favor here. Like our video and share it around so we can keep bringing you all this great, hard-hitting content. And as always, Patriots, I'm your host, Darian, and this is Resist the Mainstream.
Hi, so my name's Robert Matas, and I kind of want to not make this like a screaming match. I first off do want to say that although I don't believe in a lot of the stuff that you say, I do want to give you your flowers for giving us, people who do disagree, the chance to come and talk about it.
Thank you for saying that.
And two, like, even for me, like someone who wants to get into politics, I have a chance now to challenge my beliefs and my stuff with someone who's like talked to Newsom and everything, so... My main thing I want to talk about is the fact that, so you have said that you're a constitutionalist, right? Like, you feel like you are a strong believer in the Constitution?
Correct.
Yeah. So my question is, or I guess my belief is that now with the modern day presidency, you cannot be a constitutionalist and still support Trump.
Okay, why? And then I have a follow-up question.
So my first thing is, one, Trump openly defying the Supreme Court, and supporting that is him saying on an interview just the other day he does not know if it's his job to uphold the Constitution, which in fact is one of the main jobs of the presidency. Which I feel like, am I wrong? Can you combat that?
I don't believe that's what he said, but let's talk.
You can look at the interview. That's it. Literally what he said. He has lawyers to decide whether he has to uphold the Constitution.
No, of course.
When the DOJ is not his attorneys.
Well, no, the DOJ actually 100% is.
They are the U.S. government attorneys.
No, but
they do not protect Donald J. Trump.
Stop interrupting me. First of all, what branch is the Department of Justice in?
I'm not. Okay, sorry, I don't have that written down here. I'm just.
Dude, come on. I mean.
But can you?
It's in the executive. It's in the executive branch. So the DOJ. Can you
respond to my claim, though?
Yes, without you interrupt. I let you talk uninterrupted.
You're true.
This is insane. All right, how do you not know that? All right, this reminds me of a survey where more than half of American adults can't name the 3 branches of American government. I'm not even kidding. People can't name judicial, legislative, executive. They literally can't. More than half of Americans in a survey that was just a couple of years ago. Similarly, all right, 1 in 4 Americans can't even name a single freedom of the First Amendment. All right, there are 5, by the way. Do you guys know what they are? Speech, religion, press, assembly, petition. I'll admit, I might have forgotten 1 or 2 before I made this video. Not proud to admit that, but I will not do that again. All right, that's why I looked it up, wrote it down, and got familiar with it. Now, as far as the guy saying, well, I don't have this, excrement written down. Dude, this is the problem with leftists, all right? They're always going off like studies and evidence and sources and all this stuff. They can't even think for themselves or retain the most basic info of American government. I mean, it's just crazy.
DOJ works for President Trump completely and totally. They are in the executive branch. The Attorney General is wholly adherent to the President of the United States. Secondly, tell me about Article 2.
Well, they are also there to keep Trump in check.
No, they're not. No, that's where you're wrong, dude. That's the 3rd branch. That's what, no. See, this is where you're totally miseducated. The DOJ works for President Trump. Literally, the Attorney General of the United States works for the President of the United States. The Supreme Court, or the 3rd branch, is a separate branch. The DOJ is not a separate branch. I'm not saying the DOJ is a separate branch, but I'm saying the DOJ should. I'm saying that they are not meant to serve Trump. Yes, they are. If Trump does something wrong. No, that's wrong. That's not correct.
Yes.
You have a wrong, and you have to tell me what article does the Attorney General fall under? 1, 2, or 3?
I don't know.
Article 2, which is the President of the United States. All power vested in Article 2 is vested in the President. That's right there in Article 2. Now, as far as define...
Did you forget that for the full past Biden presidency that the Biden DOJ was going after Donald Trump and trying to criminally prosecute him, and ultimately did prosecute and sentence him in an attempt to throw him in prison for the rest of his life? Dude, executive branch, president, it's not that hard to figure out.
In the Supreme Court, he hasn't defied it, but even if he did, Joe Biden...
He's trying to challenge it, though.
Challenging's not defying, dude. That's appealing to the Supreme Court. Joe Biden literally defied a final decision on the Supreme Court when it came to student loans.
But it didn't go through. It stopped.
No. Joe Biden kept on actually defying it.
Yeah, because he kept trying to rework it to where it would be legal.
Again, but the point, he stopped. He materially defied it. That's beside the point.
He kept trying until the Supreme Court
Trump is not
found,
currently defying the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court said he needs to facilitate the return for Abrego Garcia. And I don't advocate for the man. I just advocate
the Supreme
for
Court has not said they have to do that. They haven't. You're wrong. What the Supreme Court said is that the Trump administration made an error and they have to write a request to El Salvador,
but you're
which they
ignoring
did.
the part where they said he has to facilitate the return.
And he has. El Salvador has denied it.
He said he doesn't
control.
want to ask for
he doesn't control El Salvador.
Okay. I want to appreciate too. Thank you for helping me with the stuff that I am wrong about. So that I appreciate as well.
Last point. Then we have a long line.
Okay. I also want to say too. I've heard you make points about how the Fifth Amendment only applies to U.S. citizens.
In certain cases, yes.
Do you believe that the 14th Amendment as well only applies to U.S. citizens?
Again, in a limited scope, yes.
Yep.
Because, again, the Supreme Court agrees. Again, there's expedited removal.
What about...
The Supreme Court has said there's no due process rights for any... you're interrupting me, man.
Okay.
The Supreme Court has said that there is no due process rights for illegal aliens that have come within 100 miles of the southern border or 2 weeks of entry. That's a 2019 decision based on expedited removal. So actually, and according to many other Supreme Court decisions, an illegal alien within 2 years here in the United States gets no due process rights.
Well, it's too bad that a lot of those guys have been sitting here for years and years, far more than 2. Guys, I mean, call me super unconstitutional guy or whatever. Why can't we just say, hey, you came in illegally. We have no way of verifying you were here for the longer because you were here illegally and undocumented, as the Democrats say. So we're going to assume you just walked in. Bye-bye. Get out of here. Let's go. I'm just saying, all right, if Trump is actually going to get these mass deportations done that we've been promised as MAGA voters, it's not going to work if we're saying, well, you're here longer than 2 years, so you get the full due process now. No. All right, 11 million came in at least under Joe Biden. Let's not forget that. And there were, probably 20 million sitting around this country or more before that. We're really going to give all these people due process? No. Okay, this is enough. And if we can't do it like this, I don't know, let's pass a law. For God's sakes, pass a new law that says, all right, if you're an illegal alien, you're getting the hell out, okay? Do what we got to do. Exercise every legal avenue possible. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sick of it. And the deportations right now, they are not high enough, my friends. Let's get those up, get them up, all right? Pump them up. Rookie numbers.
I pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Okay, but what about... So also, this is something I want to point out, too. You call a lot of the immigrants that are in the country, ones that cross over the border, illegal immigrants.
They're all criminals, yes.
When most of them, especially, and I want to ask you what you think about the ones who were arrested or were detained while trying to go through the legal processes. The ones who came in, actually, and it is a loophole. I'll admit that Joe Biden allowed for a loophole to get into the system, right, through...
Open borders?
No, through Asylum. So Asylum was a loophole, but it still was a legal way to enter the country. And what about the illegal immigrants who were detained while going to their meetings to make sure they stayed within the legal processes?
They're still in violation of 8 U.S.C. 1312.
If they came in using...
What is 8 U.S.C. 1312? You don't know. That's fine. It's fraudulently filling out an asylum claim, of which these people are.
That's what happened with these Haitian migrants in Ohio. You guys remember that? J.D. Vance talked about it during his vice presidential debate with Kamala Harris, and the fake news fact checkers of CBS said, well, actually, Vance, they're illegal immigrants. So for you to call them illegals is completely inaccurate and blah, 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 blah. After they said they wouldn't fact check, and then they just do it when it's inconvenient because a Republican is making a point they don't like. But then Vance countered, hey, guess what? All they had to do was apply on this stupid little Biden migrant app, and then boom. They were asylum seekers, just like that. Temporary protected legal status. They're not illegal anymore. I mean, it's a joke, okay? The Democrats have basically legalized illegal immigration, effectively. And Republicans have to exercise strong political power if they ever hope to reverse this issue. I mean, frankly, we can't even reverse it, but at least mitigate it, because it's bad and it's getting worse, or rather has gotten worse consistently throughout time. As Donald Trump said, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Terrible, guys. Just terrible.
But that's what the courts are
Again, there's 8 U.S.C. 1305, which is illegally crossing the southern border, which can be enforced also upon the second entrance going on.
Isn't
and then there's 8 U.S.C. 13.
Into the border.
Again, man, I know. I don't mean to make you look bad.
Okay.
You just don't know enough about this stuff. I encourage you to look at 8 U.S.C. 1305, 8 U.S.C. 1312, how the criminal code actually comes in particular here. The Supreme Court has given President Trump full authority to deport these illegals without same due process as people here in America.
But what about the Supreme Court decisions Which one is it?
Yes, so I know what you're talking about.
Which
Yes.
one? Which Supreme Court?
I don't know the name, but it basically says that's for
In
illegal aliens.
1903?
Yes,
Okay.
those are for illegal aliens that commit crimes while they are here. So that's if it like an illegal.
This Supreme Court decision recognized due process rights for non-citizens in deportation hearings.
Yes, correct.
Not deportation.
Not
hearings.
again, the Supreme Court has clarified that in 2019 that not every single illegal here within the last 2 years gets a deportation hearing. They've clarified it, and people are conveniently ignoring it in the media.
And
Thank you
so
for your time.
Can you tell me then where I can find that they clarified it?
Type in a chat GPT.
Not ChatGPT, from the Supreme Court.
Well, again, it will lead you to the source. Say, find me the Supreme Court case, because I don't know the name of it. 2019, 2018 decision around expedited removal within 100 miles of the border and 2 years of being in the country. The Supreme Court clarified they do not need the same due process rights.
But, so you're also saying though that these other Supreme Court cases that reaffirmed that due process rights does apply to non-citizens, naturalized or...
Again, what the Supreme Court said is they had a distinction. They said that if an illegal alien is here and, for example, commits a DUI, they get due process on that infraction. They don't get due process necessarily on just the fact they came into the southern border illegally. So there's about crimes you commit on the interior of the country different than ones that you commit while you come into the country.
But what about the people who have not committed crimes?
It doesn't matter. Coming in the country,
who have been here
coming into the country is a crime.
Years,
Doesn't matter.
For longer than 2 years.
The Supreme Court will hope.
This whole narrative that illegal immigrants aren't criminals unless they commit other crimes. No, they came in illegally.
It's a civil offense.
It's not. Again, it's an 18 U.S.C.
I'm pretty sure it's 13. It's
8 U.S.C. 1312, it makes it a felony to harbor yourself illegally in the United States of America and not notify the government of your presence. You can look it up anytime you want. 8 U.S.C. 1312, any illegal alien that does not tell the government where they are, what they're doing, and why they are here is in violation and is currently committing a felony.
Well, folks, that was really something. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. I found it interesting. It's nice to hear about some of the Supreme Court cases. I always like brushing up on those, hearing more about it, and I hope you liked it too. With all that being said, everybody, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. As always, comment below. Let us know what you liked about the clip, what kind of stuff you want to see in the future, and we will see you again soon. God bless.